the Press and Public Affairs Promotion Kata that gives you the briefing. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Louis Normal, for effectively performing your role as head of media relations at Liberia National Police. You're doing a pretty good job. Right, and I also want to recognize all of the media relations team, Anthony, one of the deputies in the Office of Media Relations, Bonnie, the rest of my staff, both community services and media relations, that are working in making sure that the Liberian citizens can get proper updates, if not proper updates exclusively, but also be able to build a cordial relationship between the communities and the police. Having said that, a lot of you members of the press have been concerned about the outcome of the, invitation extended, Mr. Mike Jabateh, a Liberian citizen. Recently, a video, footage was on social media where Mr. Jabateh was heard raining threats on the life of the, of course, Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, His Honor Francis Kapo. And so, as an investigative institution that we do in all other cases, investigating issues impartially and making sure that people can account for their actions, especially so when it comes in conflict with the law. We thought that it was important to have Mr. Jabateh also invited. And I'd like to give you the chronology of the invitation extended. Mr. Jabateh was invited on Thursday. We had committed to coming on Friday. And Friday he called us back and said with conversation with the lawyers, he was asking that the police allow him to come on Monday, which is today. That was granted. And so Mr. Jabateh today lived by his commitment, and he came here for investigation. He came along with his lawyers. His rights are being respected. As a Liberian citizen, every citizen has Miranda rights. By investigative procedures, you are acquainted of your Miranda rights. So his rights are respected as a Liberian citizen, especially going under questioning. So I am pleased to inform you, members of the press, that the questioning of Mr. Jabateh continues. He is currently in the care of our investigators. Why the questioning is ongoing. And you might want to know what are those specifics of the questioning. Those specifics of the questioning have to do with the issue of terroristic threat on the life of the Chief Justice, the issue of threatening the peace, provoking or bringing up a situation that will undermine the peace of our country, thereby leading to chaos. So Mr. Jabateh is being investigated or questioned on those fronts. And I will not be very fast as a spokesperson of the police to say this is exclusively the findings of the investigation. What I provided to you are initial findings, because the investigation is still continuing. If Mr. Jabateh must be signed for, I'm saying if, he must be signed for, because those are options available, given what the investigators will come across while the questioning is ongoing. If he must be signed for, that will be done with his lawyer. He will be entrusted to a lawyer. If he must be signed for, he will be entrusted to a lawyer. And he will have to report here as per the dictate of the investigators. So, as I speak to you, Mr. Jabateh is still here at headquarters, undergoing questioning. And we'd like to say this. This is to say to the Liberian people that what we do here is basically to ensure public safety, public order, and that citizens should respect the rule of law. Liberia is a country of laws and not a country of men. It is everyone's responsibility to protect the peace and stability of the state. Because if anything should happen that our peace should degenerate into something else, it will not only affect us as police people, it will not affect government officials exclusively, it will not only affect journalists, it will affect a broader spectrum of the Liberian public. And so it is our responsibility, citizens police, officials of government, opposition, whoever you are, religious people, for all of us to be able to jealously protect the peace and stability of the state. With peace, we can go to bed, even if we don't eat, hoping that tomorrow we're going to make sure we find food to eat. With peace, we can wake up and go to work. With peace, we can have a lot of things going. The economy is on course, and the health system is going to be improved. The roads are going to be okay, and everyone, that's why we encourage all of our citizens. Let's continue to be proactive in the way we engage each other. Let's understand that what is most paramount for every citizen is the protection of the peace and stability of the state, whether you are in Liberia or outside of Liberia. You may not like Moses Carter as an individual. You are entitled to that. But what we ask of every citizen is, whatever your action is, let your action be directed to the protection of the peace and stability of the state. We've seen enough. And many Liberians, or if not many Liberians, but all Liberians are not ready to resort to the ugly past. That's why it's important for journalists, whatever you report, put your peace first as you report. Make sure that whatever you report is in line with protecting peace and stability. Whatever you do, let it protect the peace, because journalists play a pivotal role in helping the police in maintaining peace, law and order. And that's why I'm mentioning journalists, but it's not only journalists, but a broader spectrum of the Liberian society. All of us will have to work in consolidating this piece of our country. And I'd like to say to all of you that, ladies and gentlemen of the press, whatever the case is, we, the police force, under the leadership of the public soldiers, will not be in the business of going after any citizen on the basis of free speech, exclusively on the basis of free speech. But guess what? Every speech comes, or every right, freedom of speech is a fundamental right as guaranteed under our Constitution. But every right comes with a responsibility. We all must know that whatever we say and do has, repercussions. And so if you speak, be mindful of how you speak. When you write, be mindful of how you write, because there are far-reaching effects to things that we speak and to things that we write. That is why we are urging our citizens. We're urging our citizens. You may not love us as a police force. All right? We are here to serve you. We're here to serve every spectrum of the Liberian society, irrespective of your political background, irrespective of your religious background, irrespective of where you come from. It is our statutory responsibility to protect every resident and citizen of this country. And that is what we are committed to do. We urge you to help us so that all of us can help to consolidate the peace of this country. It is also for me to inform you, members of the press, that the Liberia National Police is investigating an alleged homicide incident which occurred in the township of Louisiana. A lot of you have been concerned of this incident of Louisiana on Thursday, the 15th of April, 2021. According to police preliminary investigation, victim Anthony Johnson, Sr., 67 years old, went along with a surveyor, Vanny McGrail, to identify points of their family property or properties that was to be surveyed by the Liberia Land Authority in Louisiana. Since then, victim Johnson has not been seen until Tuesday, the 20th of April, 2021, when his lifeless body was discovered in an advanced stage of decomposition behind the Baptist Church Seminary, Congo Town, back road. This body was identified by one of his sons, identified as Rufus Johnson, as a result of his left big toe. So the investigation is continuing. We have a person of interest. The surveyor is currently here at headquarters, and he's being interrogated. If probable cause is established linking him to the death of our Liberian citizen, the law will take its course. We urge all of you members of the press to always feel free to contact us on any information that you would need, and it is our obligation or responsibility to ensure that you are provided said information. I want to say thank you so much, and if there are a few questions, you are welcome.
Yes. My name is James from Let's talk about the Mike Jabateh issue. why Mike Jabateh is being currently investigated by the police or questioned by the police as related to this issue surrounding Liberia County, though he made a statement that according to him was caught from, but those people who were involved in the action, why some are not being for or no arrest, or you did not give us any update regarding the Liberia County situation. And follow up by another one has to do with one of our reporters. We got information that one of our reporters, whoever reporter, Aaron Kali, was flogged by some of the officers here. And you did not also speak to that, though I confronted you on it, but you did not touch it. Yeah.
Thank you. So to the issue of some of the other folks who may have been also allegedly involved with making inflammatory statements, it is an ongoing investigation. So we start with Mr. Jabateh today. We never know what happens in terms of inviting the rest of the people. It's an ongoing investigation. We leave no stone unturned in making sure that anyone who attempts to undermine the peace of our country will not go with impunity. Coming to the issue of the journalist that you claim from your station that was allegedly assaulted. I don't want to say, massively or add some level of degree to it because I wasn't here to have seen it. But like I said to you off camera, now that I'm on camera, I can say to the rest of you, so those that are listening, that no police officer is above the law. No police officer is above the law. Any officer in the discharge of his or her statutory responsibility that engages in brutalizing or assaulting any of our citizens, said officer or officers will be made to face the full weight of the law. It happened today. We appreciate that a team of you can, come to us and say also we identify what really happened. Is for us to investigate and find out what really went wrong, who is in the wrong or who's in the right, and then we're able to take appropriate actions. And I can commit to you that the Inspector General is committed to ensuring that any officer that attempts to drag the image of our institution in the mud, said officer or officers will be made to face the full of it. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Stevie Ravels and I'm a for Florida. You haven't told us as to how long the investigation will take, when is Jabateh going to be released or any other.
Okay, so police-wise, let's say investigation-wise, we have like 48 hours to hold anyone that is suspected of committing a crime in our custody. 48 hours is like 2 days. All right, it's 2 days. Beyond 48 hours, if there are more evidence being gathered, what is usually done, that is universally or conventionally, is that a lawyer, or you may say either a prominent person, will come and sign for the person being investigated while additional evidence is being collected. So, like I said to you from the initial of my, conversation with you, I told you Mr. Jabateh's rights are respected. And all through the questioning or investigation, his rights will remain very respected. All right? So if there's need for further, fact gathering, we definitely would do the most appropriate thing to have a lawyer or someone else sign for you. Thank you.
Following up with the Liberia County situation, you did not give us update as it relates to Liberia. Since the incident, we are yet to get full or at least an update today.
Okay, so thank you. I'm sure you want to know where it stands now with the Nimba situation. Calm has returned to Ganta, specifically Ganta. Calm has returned to Ganta. The citizens and residents are going about their normal businesses. Businesses are open, schools are open, and everyone is going about his or her normal business. The Inspector General did a marvelous job in Nimba County. The Inspector General held serious conversations with aggrieved parties. He held conversations with the local authority, and everything went well. There was commitment from the affected family that they would not engage in any semblance of violence, they respect the rule of law, they would no more come into the streets. And as I speak to you, that situation is under control. All right, so I can say that same way to the issue of the data certification. Thank you. Well, efforts have been made for arrest for those that carry on the act, but as I speak to you, we have not received any report of any arrest until now. Thank you. Right. I told you it's an ongoing investigation. The rest is going to be led by investigators. So they are going to be investigating to find out who to be called in or who not to be called in. But I would love us to allow the investigators to do their work. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks for coming, and I hope that we cooperate and cooperation because thank you for coming. Next time, we will follow you.
Thank you.